I know they talk about biohacking.
What's up? What's up, guys? Streaming to you all. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. TikTok, why is it so blurry?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better. And then we'll start broadcasting on Instagram also. What's up? What's up, Bible of Arash? AZD underscore IMC TikTok. Zay, what you doing with your afternoon right now?
I am available for 30 minutes.
Oh, for 30 minutes. Well, you're just reminiscing about how you're about to leave base 1 on Monday. Oh, man, you're going to hop on? Dang, Zay's joining. Shit. This is president of Monk Life Records.
Sir,
How many artists do you have signed on Monk Life right now?
I have one producer, no artist.
One producer, no artist, but how many music videos have you made?
See, 2.
2 music videos.
Yeah.
And is one of those music videos at least with somebody who's in the Guinness Book of World Records as a rap artist?
Yeah, San Quinn, man.
It's San Quinn.
Man, you still
I got to turn these on the side, guys. So you just have to turn your phone so that you can see. Whoa. Okay, there we go. So this is Zay, IMC Zay Simba from Base 3, Fullerton, California. That's near Los Angeles. And you're just doing some touch-up residency right now. So what's it been like for you the second go?
The second go, I mean, I just getting more in the rhythm of it. I definitely feel at home here, man. For sure. But same time, there was some things that was just tightening up.
Yeah.
In terms of trying new things in the process. I never tried breathing like that.
Breathing like what?
Like Wim Hof breathing.
When did you do that?
When I got here, I started implementing that more into my process.
Oh, so you already knew it, but you weren't doing it?
I already knew it, but I wasn't doing it. Nah.
Right on.
So just really putting that in my process, going out the box more often. Not just like one time. I always go out because we got a park out here. It's really dope. So it's been going out there more and, just be able to interact with the guys better here in base 1, see where my communication is at. Working on trying to speak louder. I remember yesterday.
Which you're doing, yeah.
Yeah, I remember yesterday. I asked AZD, he's like, "Yeah, you got to keep working on just learning how to speak louder and stuff."
Yeah, because I heard you in the living room. You're like, huh? Can I ask you something? It's like, oh man.
I think it's just trying to be too polite, at the same
yeah,
time.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. Yeah. And you also have a renegade bad boy in you that's like, and so you have this dual nature in you that is, I see it come out. That it's going to be in that calibration because you're going to come across mean and like rude and things.
Yeah.
But then you have this real nice guy that's like tempered that and somewhere in between. And that we all have something like that, right. Man. We were made to be good little boys, but then we also have moments where, we experience some sort of freedom or success when we were a bad boy and rebellious and, just being a natural born alpha male, like you're going to do it your own way.
Right.
People are infringing on your boundaries that you haven't put up so much in your life. And then as you become aware, you still haven't put out the communication to put that boundary there. So you're aware of the boundary, but they aren't. And so they keep doing it. And then they overstep in your mind. And then how you handle that will create the next moment of that relationship. It'll create the next level of that relationship, either bad or good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I've seen that as well because it's getting harder and harder not to really put that barrier up or talk about it, as we keep studying AZD, and see how the way he is around.
Right, because he has certain standards and barriers that most guys aren't even close to having that arrangement in their life.
Right.
So if they just adopt his sound bites and his, ways of doing things, it's going to totally, completely destroy what they have. And then not to mention that they probably won't even accurately replicate it or duplicate the behavior. They'll just do it in their way. So it'd be a shoddy version of what he does.
Yeah, and you got to handle those communications for sure. Because I was thinking it has to happen. I got to just put out the communication, see who's real, who's fake, especially on social media. Like when I made a post about my dad's birthday on Christmas, a lot of people, a lot of likes, But all the time I've been posting about IMC stuff, the group pictures we've been taking.
So they're there, they're watching.
So I was like, y'all watching, but y'all don't like that stuff. So I'm like, what's going on with that?
There is somewhat, because just like sometimes you'll send a text to someone and they don't reply, you get all mad at them, and then it hadn't received, or there was some technological barrier, and then you feel bad about getting upset at them that they didn't reply. It's like they didn't even get it or something.
Right.
That ever happened to you?
Of course, many
times.
Yeah,
okay. So sometimes also, I mean, social media does push a post. So the person just isn't seeing it when they're scrolling, and then a good post they do see, and then they react to it. So they may not, they could go and look you up and like invest, but it's not always they're just skipping over your post, not double tapping. Right. It might not being shown to them, and they're not looking you up.
Yeah. So and another situation with that, I've noticed people that will view my stories a lot. I would see them in my stories view, but they never liked like the stuff I'm posting. Right. And when that Christmas post, about just saying it's my dad's birthday, they liked it. So I'm just like, I can tell if you are watching, but you're right. I didn't consider the fact that maybe
sometimes this will like fall on you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't consider the fact that maybe they didn't see it. The algorithm didn't push them up there and stuff.
Yeah. What's the proper response to that sort of thing? Well, I mean, you don't depend on them in any way, and so you just keep ascending and stay in touch. I got love for people that were part of my life at some point. Sure, I've transcended them 6-7 times to new levels, new circles, new everything. Just totally changed my life. But I got love for, anybody that played any role in like me becoming me now. So I give them a chance until they just like outright disrespect me or something. But if it's just because as you get better, something I notice more and more is how bad everybody else really is. And I think I know. And then as I get better, I realize they're way worse than I thought. And they are so stuck in the mud that they don't even know what they're doing. And the ones that do, I mean, they'll be weeded out in time. But it's like AZD says, most people, they're good. They're just so numb and ignorant and terrible at communicating. And
I was that guy too. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. And you're unleashing now. You're just like, Zay's talking so much more. And I've seen that. And so this second week of residency, graduated in the first week, really graduated in like 4 days or something. And that's what happens when you're my staff member. Ambu did it in like 5 days. They did it in 4 days. And, the only other guy that was up there would be like Shamir did it in like 6 or 7 days, but he had already lived at base 1, base 2, the other base 2. So I was saying, well, so the difference between your first week and second week, we were much more open in the second week. You did the road trip with us to LA, which you were quiet, but just like the whole camp, and then, just getting more comfortable with us. I'm sure it's just naturally your voice comes out. So living with AZD, because the people online may not know what this is. Residency is you come and live with AZD. Yeah. Like I'm a permanent resident of base 1. Fernando Sultana, permanent resident. They're the residents actually, but a visiting resident or a guest resident, you can just come and do residency. Or if you're part of the bases, because we have 7 bases now. So like 40 guys are living together in 7 bases in different cities. And of course, there's many more individuals, for every person in a base, there's like 4 or 5 people not in a base that are still training, and they could come and do residency, become an officer. But really the guys in bases can become officers much more easily. Anybody out, the people outside of a base are less interested in becoming an officer because they're just, like I said, there's levels. We really see clear levels. The guys, freeloaders. We don't even know really how bad you are at communicating. We assume you have basic communication knowledge. Don't. They don't. Very rarely you come across them. You'll know because they'll have like weird objections that later they'll go the other way with it. Like with nothing, you've said nothing to convince them. It's just through talking, they had an emotional reaction. You'll later come to find out they had like a jolt to it and they responded like a girl to something. That's what girls do. But we're getting practice getting punched in the face. So you don't flinch when the fist is like right next to you. The other person, you raise your hand and they're like that. You know what I'm saying? So we are used to communicating, confronting situations that not for everybody else, you don't realize how much they're flinching. Because that's just through the digital or whatever. You just read their words. Yeah. And so then people join Alpha Academy or whatever, but AZD Mastermind University, a morning daily class. And I mean, we see the spectrum of that every now and then. Like 1 out of 10 is a well put together guy that's joined, and then 9 out of 10 is like or let's say 7 or 8 out of 10 is the basic college age or college dropout or just after college kind of guy, I was that guy that, would pick up, real interested in that and confidence. Okay. Yeah. That kind of, and then 1 in 10 is a weirdo. That's just like, and sometimes they survive and a lot of times they don't because they're just not all there.
Mhm.
And, and so there's levels. Those guys join and then they start developing. It's like, then you have a big, like 0 to 12 or 24 months that they've been on the program. If they've actively been studying, they'll be improving for some duration of time before advanced training is like, that's the thing for them. Mm-hmm. And as they start doing that, it depends. If they just do one, a lot of guys, they'll just do one and not do more. Or they'll do one and then a long time later do 1 or 2. And sometimes it's financial reasons, but sometimes it's just, it touches a deep nerve because it's so taboo, the ways of talking to women, to the mindsets and how to think about these things that balances you as a man, because you have so much nice guy that you need some extreme ideas to give a balance to myself.
Oh, for sure, bro. Yeah. And then, yeah, I mean, you got to express yourself in that way because I believe if you're trying to be too nice guy, then you just holding it in, then eventually it's going to just come out like all emotion on one end. Like it's going to just spew out once you're dealing with some kind of conflict or you're trying to like talk to somebody else. So for sure, of course, you got to learn how to calibrate that as well. And at the same time, I feel like, I mean, just having been in that world before, and now I'm trying to fix my whole life again. It's just, man, I don't really want those people who I was being too Mr. Nice Guy with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember just coming the morning class and I was talking to AZD.
I think though? I want to say something.
What?
Instead of let me formulate this in a question. So, is it more? It's not that you don't want those people around. It's you don't want that kind of relationship.
Yeah, I think that's way better to put it. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't
because it's not. You don't all of a sudden hate the people.
No, I don't hate the people. Yeah, that's a good way of saying it.
It's I can't relate with this person that way and be good with myself, and so I got to change how I'm relating with them. And then if they don't respond right, then, and then what?
I mean, then I just move on my whole life. But I still got to express my true voice in that sense,
Yeah, man.
For sure. Because, yeah, and at the same time, yeah, because me being Mr. Nice Guy before having that relationship with
Nice
them,
Guy,
they felt like they were like higher ranking than me. Like they felt like they were like better than me in that sense, And I'm just like, but we studying AZD, I seen how authentic he is. Having that reference, just being out here in a residency.
Yeah,
I was just like, man, AZD really appreciates me really having my true voice. So whoever doesn't like this, like, man, like you're right. I don't want to have that kind of relationship with them anymore.
That's right. Because if it's not your true voice, then what voice is it?
Exactly.
It's an untrue voice.
Right.
And if you have a relationship with someone with your untrue voice, it's an untrue relationship.
Right. Amen. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And especially going into hip hop, like I'm right now, like I do feel like the Tupac in a sense where I'm trying to really just, I know how talented I am, but I understand the industry is just so like saturated with that kind of like, nice, well, not nice, but business professional in a sense. And I saw how weak they were, especially when going on to the whole like 2020 when we was campaigning for Trump. Like I thought that they was like, authentic and hard and gangster, but those same guys themselves, they want to keep the quote unquote business. So they can't even say they like a certain president, or they don't agree with like Black Lives Matter in that sense.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, I was just like, man, there's a whole open lane for me just to be real. And of course, with IMC backing me up, I can just totally just be a whole different guy in the music industry.
That's true.
But now that's why I'm blessed to be actually work with AZD on Monk Life Records. Yeah. Because with his guidance, first of all, he's already the top selling artist. And the Gotos when he was working with Gotos.
Yeah.
Out of all the artists, and then he doesn't
out of all artists in where? Bay Area?
In the Bay Area.
Yeah. Top Bay Area artist. AZD, who's not even a musician.
He's not even a musician, not even a rapper.
Yeah.
But the way he communicates, he understands communication. I was just like, man.
So that's a talent because you're studying communication. So this guy just on a fart makes some hit music in the Bay Area, and it's like, bro, that's just what are you eating? Kind of thing,
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, now I have that kind of guidance. We can really just find our people with their music, then I realized
that's true.
Man,
it's a whole different medium, man, that can attract a certain because you can only you got to get their attention.
Right.
Like Gary Vee would say, it's like where is their attention? And so if the person's not on Instagram, we're not going to find them on Instagram. If they're going to on SoundCloud, then maybe find them on SoundCloud.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And we got to put it all together where it makes sense for them. That's why everything counts.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Every mode and means of expression.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course you just want to be aesthetic in whatever field you're in, and then be the best. So you don't hold back. Like, what would it take to be the best in the lane that you're going? Because as you refine your lane, also you'll find less and less people are actually you're competing with.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just, if you feel like you're competing with a lot of people, you haven't found your lane yet.
Yeah,
to that degree, it's like a relationship like that. So if you're ultra focused on your lane, there's actually zero competition. And if you don't know your lane at all, then you're competing with everyone.
That is very, very true, man. And at the same time, I think when you're finding your own lane, you're going to have the haters, and just learning, of course, today in class, how to deal with haters, how to AZD deal with haters. I'm like, everybody needs to hear that. All the artists.
That's the morning class.
That's the morning class. Yeah, the morning class. So that put me in perspective. I was like, okay, if you're going to be an artist with Monk Life Records, then you're going to get a whole, you got to be studying AZD. You got to be in the morning classes. You got to keep up with those teachers as much as possible. Because, and we might invest so much money into you, but you might just make some dumb moves, unethical moves, and then now it's just like all that time wasted. And I have artists that have hit me up like, hey, I want to be part of Monk Life Records. I'm like, bro, you're not even in the morning class. Like, why the fuck would I want to work with you in that sense?
That's interesting. So what would you say to somebody like that?
I say, look, brother.
Hey, bro, I want to be signed on Monk Life.
Yeah, if you want to be signed on Monk Life, you got to keep up with AZD's teachings, because Monk Life is AZD's record label, And if you're going to be with us, then you have to understand that you are actually representing AZD as well. It's not just like we're just paying you. We could pay artists, to play the keyboard here, or to write us some lyrics on the back end. But if you want to be the front guy,
that's nice.
Then you're going to be representing AZD. And you have to keep up with his teachings, because maybe later on you might just feel like you think you want to be a big time artist, like you said, and you think you want to be in one lane where everybody's doing, but we are having to carve in our own lane. And we're trying to help you carve your own lane. I guarantee you're going to be way happier being an artist.
That's true.
And be more fulfilled, rather than just, try to do it the popular way. And all the popular guys now, they're fucking depressed on drugs and shit.
Exactly.
So, and just being on this process, you're going to really express yourself at a different level.
Yeah, because when you build on integrity, it's some real hardwood fucking, that oak wood furniture, not that pine or that, composite, fake wood board. That's what people, the composite wood boards, and they make aesthetic shapes and pretty shapes, but it has no integrity, no substance. We're going to grow an oak tree in the shape of that, so it grows slower, and not always. I mean, but the principle of growing with integrity, man, is what I was getting exactly from what you're saying, carving your own lane, and being much more happy as an artist, because then you'll have sustainable creation, versus burning out, because it's just as normy as everybody else that sells out to whatever workplace or company or four-walled living or whatever. They're selling their life for the money because it's a safe bet, and that's what I imagine artists are doing. And then so many of them, honestly, just like the miscommunications because of technology, or how the Instagram was pushing the algorithm or whatever. Like, so many artists, they don't even know they're selling out. They're just so weak mentality that they've sold out to so many levels since childhood, because they were indoctrinated, forced, this and that. And then at some point they just started giving their consent to the ideas. And so at that point you're an adult, like you gotta, and they're just so weak. So mentally, that's what you saw, like when COVID happened, President Trump running and all that stuff. It's like they look hard, but their mentality is actually very slavish. Let me sacrifice myself for others, or at least it's two-faced, because they may not be doing that, but they're preaching that, and they wholeheartedly are preaching that, just not aware enough. They're so ignorant that they don't realize they're doing it, that they are all about themselves, but they're preaching liberal socialism and this and that, and go that way, where to those that what is it? From those with the means to those without the means, or something like that. I forget what the communist manifesto is. And it's like, it's basically from those who produce to those who are in need, kind of thing.
Oh damn! I gotta study that. We gotta study the enemy.
Yeah, right.
For sure, man. So that's my purpose, of course, doing Monk Life Records and anything that we're doing. We have different businesses as well. We got royalty management. You know what I'm saying? We have
You know more than anybody because you run their website.
Yeah, yeah, for that, and with that too, trying to like really show people how to actually communicate with women. Like I believe we're having a show next month.
Yeah.
And just seeing how the top players, how the way they would answer certain questions, which I'm really interested in. Maybe we should have some normie guys, at least one normie person out of all the top players, just to see how the way we should communicate about certain taboo subjects. For sure. Just really carving our own lane in that sense as well.
That's true. There could be, I don't know what the best way to include a regular guy or a normal guy, because the thing is he would have such low rapport with all of the guys. How to welcome him in, what that kind of training would be. I think it would probably come through word of mouth, like referral.
Yeah.
Somebody like Oracle, Kingpin, Powerhouse, or any of you guys, like if you meet someone, know someone, and they feel interested in the event, you may not be able to sell them on a $750 ticket. But come be in the audience, and then while they're there, maybe you want to be on panel for a second, or you want to be, because, and then it really, when it's that, then you want to also come with the heart that you're not trying to embarrass the guy and AMOG him, because what's going to end up happening is going to get hella AMOG, and so if that's a friend, then we got to think about, like, there is going to be an entertainment factor that happens when guys come and flop, a bunch of dorks or something, or even just one dork. But then what's the distribution of this product, and who is that entertaining for? Because we're not slapstick humor IMC. Like, we like to laugh, but there's wisdom in our laughter and our humor. So, having it internal with guys that are at least studying the game, and then making the money circulate so that there's an engine here. And, when distribution becomes great, like, let's say, and that's what we would see with like all the artists, like when they blow up real fast, then they start becoming cheesy. So if the show blew up fast and all of a sudden 100,000 YouTube subscribers or whatever, and then there would be that ability to pull a bunch of guys that are for it, but they're really dorks. They're not with AZD or whatever. Get them on the show, do a show. That's going to be a huge fan rave. Like, everybody's going to love that. And we have a whole business out of it that's making a bunch of money from it. Is that what, I don't know. That's interesting. But then that hinges on like growing and blowing up like a channel. Like, we have the TikToks, 70,000 combined followers. And we promoted the shows, and it's not, new people don't sign up for that. It's amazing. New people, I don't know what other companies are doing to sell. I mean, they probably have more refined sales funnels and paid ads and whatever, and really targeting the people that are ready to buy, and, putting them through that whole sales process, which is always worth exploring. Like, I'm down to look into that more. But I also find, with the click rate, let's say, and how many people sign up for the morning class, 3,000 clicks, 30 signups roughly. So 1 in 100. And, what it takes to get those individuals, because most of the ones that converted were not passive. They took communication.
Yeah, right.
Like, talking to those people. And, it's amazing that may even be what it is for the show. The Are You Alpha game show.
I mean, definitely on the pay-per-view. I mean, that's the entry. You know what I'm saying? Because I definitely see, like, people can't afford the morning class for whatever reason. Definitely you should see the results of, like, the guys who've been studying AZD for a while, with that pay-per-view for sure. But it's like you said, just trying to keep talking to them.
Especially infield. The guys that want infield should get the show, because a lot of people, the idea of showing up to a daily meeting at 10 a.m. and having to talk or having to show face, or they're busy or something, and then having to catch up with 30 hours of lecture recordings is not as appealing as, let me see infield. It's like 4 hours or whatever, and I could watch it at my convenience. It's a product I'm buying, and it's exactly what I want, which is gaming girls. Not realizing that the lecture, like you said, it's an entry, because the only thing that's going to happen when you see how to game girls is you're either going to fuck yourself in the ass trying to do what is done and repeat what's said.
Yeah.
You will level up in some things as the lower level guys, as they game and you hear them, then you'll hear more things that you can relate to about how to game. And then as the guys get higher level, things will be counterintuitive and you won't agree with some things. There is where the danger is, because you'll repeat the things that you do agree with, not having the other agreements, because it all comes from an integrated philosophy.
Right.
So guys will repeat the things they agree with, but disregard the things they disagree with and fuck themselves in the ass with the girl. Or, you'll be enticed to learn more. Like you'll need to learn more about where that game comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it's an entryway to the morning class, because it's all coming from a mentality and then putting it into practice, in practice talking to the girls. So you're there with Monk Life. You live at base 3, Fullerton, with Pyro, the director, Kingpin, business owner, Powerhouse, the business owner, Aroma, the aroma expert, and DJ on the side, and Ambu, who's like the manager, jack of all trades,
head of
operations, and you guys are possibly relocating. I think in like 2 months. Possibly. That's a for sure, right?
Definitely. It was supposed to be in a month, but now they extended it to like possibly 3 months.
Possibly 3 months. So you guys are maybe going to try to prolong that as long as possible. Do you know where you'll move to?
I don't have any info on that right now, for sure. Because it's like 7 of us, man. Trying to get a 7-bedroom.
Who's the 7th?
Octavia.
Is he moving? Is he living there now?
I mean, he's
looking to move in.
He's looking to move in.
And there's no space yet.
There's no space yet, no. So
so if you split into 2 bases, especially if Luna wanted to relocate, from base 5, so then 4.
That's the thing we're looking into, because I mean, I don't want to split up. You want to be with the brothers, a certain energy that you have all together. But at the same time,
7-bedroom or 7 dwelling space.
7 dwelling spaces. At the same time, like I'm working with the real estate side with Kingpin and Ambu's head of operations and Aroma. And so if we split up, it's kind of like, okay, this is a real estate kind of base, and this is more of a work comp base. But of course, we all come together because we're all trying to do sales. I think, or trying to really have our base understand business. And of course, it's growing in the sense that other brothers as well are contributing too. We got guys from different bases that are getting jobs from base 3.
Of course.
Which I was that guy. Base 5, I was just like, hey, if there's any kind of work available, I'm down to do it.
And you had proven yourself.
Of course,
being a staff member, getting yourself into a base.
And that's what helped me, straight up. Being a staff member definitely helped like the last 3 years.
Of course.
I'm not going to.
That's what Nick Church just joined on that, and Phoenix potentially just joined on that.
So
becoming a staff member of some variety. But again, I only want to work with people that are already in the morning class. I don't have a need to work with people that are, just the freeloaders, unless I know of you. Sometimes, occasionally, there's somebody that's just really strapped for cash, usually very foreign, that, but I already know that person. Usually they've been on a month and they couldn't afford any more. And then that's, so I know you're down with it, because I don't want to work with flaky people. I know all you people are flaky, offer services. Unless you can join the class, because that's what I want, people that are into the philosophy. I don't have, like I said, I don't have a need for people outside of philosophy. Not with women, not with family, not with clients, not with housemates. So my life is fully rich with people that are in agreement about this lifestyle and the way to attack life, and tribal values, and the pursuit of philosophy and higher ethics, and the just the optimization of performance to be the best at whatever you do. And then it comes with all these other philosophies that if we band together through the things that we agree on that are important, very strong brotherhood based on deep and survival oriented values. But then we're also masterful in our own trades, so that we have a much further reach as an organism, arms into all sorts of different things, being the best that we are, being lethal mental ninjas as we are, and being socially savvy players, suave with women to more or less degree, and all improving on that. Very exciting thing.
For sure. I like what you said about, like, which I've noticed as well. That's why I'm learning how to take corrections way better, because it's coming from survival. Straight up. I feel like a lot of guys can get butt hurt, and even myself, I catch myself, okay, if I'm getting hurt or if I feel some kind of way, it's just the ego, what I'm saying? But I understand that if I'm getting corrections from the higher brother or feedback, it's coming from, first of all, guys who study AZD longer than I have, but it's coming from a sense of survival, like, yeah, we want you actually to get better, not just saying it just to be, because we're in our feelings as well. So, because at the same, but it brings a stronger unit, for sure.
AZD's walking by, so Oh, so if you guys got comments, TikTok, IG. I don't know if I can read the IG comments on this. This is the restream. Should be a good time. I don't know what's going on with all of that because it's like a perfect time for people to join. But the TikToks, they're all right. Instagram's all right. So this is Zay, everybody. We're gonna tap out here.
Yeah.
Move on to the next thing.
Thank you,
so
man.
much, man.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll try to tap in again, while he's still here. He's here to Monday. Today's Thursday. So potentially tomorrow morning, before open class is I'll do another stream. Oh, for sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay, guys. So open class will be tomorrow morning. Send a message to this account, whatever you're seeing the stream on, Instagram or sorry, the Facebook and YouTube and what have you. There's links in the description where you can see how to train with AZD. And that's what I recommend. It's just that you could even be a guest. You just got to find a way to send me a message so that I can vet you, make sure that you're a real person, not a lady. And then you can join. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one. Oh,